if this book doesn't win all sorts of awards, I'm burning down the publishing industry.
Okay, I will hand you the matches.
Hi, Deanna. Thanks for joining us. I'm Emily.
And I'm Chris.
Nice to meet both of you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, of course. Our
Lovely.
pleasure.
Yeah. Love the background, your wall background. Is that like your vision board for the characters?
Yes, it's also a bit of a murder board. Usually it's got red yarn on it stretching from place to place, but I have to be careful when I pin it up to make sure that the whodunits and the howdunnits are out of camera range. So
That's great.
Oh, did you learn about that the hard way, or did you just have a flash of insight one day?
no, I don't trust how clever my readers are.
Right. Or how people can make things bigger on they'll take a picture of it, even if it's video, and then they'll make it bigger. And then, before you know it, it'll be on the cover of the New York Times.
Right.
Exactly. But there's some fan art right there of a couple of the characters from my Victorian mystery series, and that's the one I'm writing right now. So that's what's up right there. But when I was doing Kills Well with Others, it was I had a map of Venice and a whole bunch of other things up there. So that's actually one of the really fun things is swapping out the murder board.
Yeah, I bet, right? Oh my gosh, and is that a Welsh mug?
It is. It's my little Welsh dragon.
Oh, I love that. Really cool. Are you Welsh in background, or?
I am very much so.
There's a reading challenge every March called oh my gosh, now the name is escaping me. Well, there's a reading challenge to read Welsh books or
nice
books, usually like books by Welsh authors or writing by Welsh authors, I should say, and then or set in Wales. So
fantastic. I was talking to Reese Bowen at a party one time, and happened to mention that she used to do a series that was set in Wales, probably about, I don't know, 25 or 30 years ago, with Constable Evans. And we were talking about how much I had enjoyed that series, and I said, yeah, I'm Welsh, and she said, yeah, I know. And I said, how do you know? And she said, because you have the exact same coloring as Catherine Zeta-Jones. And I was like, do you need like a kidney? Like, what do you need? What do you need? It's yours. It's a compliment like that. It's yours.
Hi, everyone. It's the book Cougars, two middle-aged women on the hunt for a good read. I'm Emily.
And I'm Chris. And we are here with a very special guest today.
I'm Deanna Raybourn, the author of the Veronica Speedwell mysteries, as well as Killers of a Certain Age and the follow-up Kills Well with Others,
which we just happen to have copies of in our little hands here.
Beautiful. I love it.
Such great covers, Deanna.
Aren't they fantastic?
Yeah.
And I take this completely down to the art department at Berkeley Books, and they do a phenomenal job. I love my covers.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. They're just, I mean, especially the wine corkscrew.
Oh, I know. When this arrived, I laughed out loud. I just think it's great. So this is the
Could not resist using that one. Yeah. It is. It just came out in March. So I think this week is 8 weeks it's been out.
Oh, wow.
So it's a baby book.
So can you tell us about, so many of our listeners have read this, but if there's a reason you want to remind people what this one's about to talk about this one, that's fine. But if you could give a little elevator pitch about this, that'd be great.
So Killers of a Certain Age was the first book, and it starts off with 4 60-year-old assassins who are on the cusp of retirement. And, what happens when you kill people for a living and the organization you kill for doesn't want to let you retire quietly. And Kills Well with Others is basically chapter 2. What happens when you think you've retired and you get called back to work, because no one can do what you do quite as well as you do.
Yeah. Excellent. So we wanted to talk a little bit about series in general as well, because you have 4 series, it looks like.
Do I?
Well, from a little bit of research I did. So you have the Killer series, Veronica Speedwell series, Lady Julia Gray Mysteries, and then 1920s Adventures.
Yeah, the 1920s books were kind of loosely related in the same universe as Julia Gray. They weren't a series, and I don't think of the Killers books as, I mean, it's 2 books. That seems too much to say it's a series when it's just 2 books.
All right.
Is it a mini-series? Is it a series-let? I don't. What would we call that?
Well, I mean, the
Pair.
question is there only going to be a pair? I mean, I'm sure.
I think so. I think so. You know,
Okay.
we haven't been invited to or committed to doing a third one at this point. So we may just have the 2. I'm not sure.
All right.
Okay.
So duology for now.
Yes.
Yes. Thank
Duology.
you.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. There
So,
we go.
how do you then with your series in general, how do you know it's a series when you're starting it? Do you have an arc for a whole series? And how do you know when a series might be over, if you've reached that point ever?
You know, I never know it's going to be a series when I start. That's never a given. A lot of times it comes down to how well the book does. For me, I always try to write a book as if it were the first book in a series, meaning I've set up my characters in a way that they have enough baggage that I could go back and revisit them and their issues for future books if I needed to. But I also like to end the first book with kind of a happy for now situation. So if we only get that one book, you know, that's what I did with Killers of a Certain Age, is the idea being, okay, if I were a reader picking up this book, by the time I finish it, I can fill in the blanks and I would believe that these characters went off and did these things. They were happy in these ways because it's been set up. And I'm just going to imagine that they rode off into the sunset and finished it up. But I always leave the door open just a little bit, so that if readers really happen to connect with a particular book, if the publisher really wants another one, you know, that we're there, that the groundwork's been laid and it's easy to kind of go back and pick those threads back up and, you know, start weaving again.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know,
Yeah.
because we were talking before we all got together here about series and how, as readers, like, we do want a little bit of that closure, you know, because like the big hanging ending sometimes is, and then if you don't know if another book is coming, it's kind of painful as a reader. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Oh, I think we're frozen. Deanna, are you there? What row?
Yeah, can you hear me? You guys are frozen for me.
We can hear you.
You're still frozen.
There you go.
There you go. And now you're back.
Okay.
Nope. No, you're frozen.
Now you're frozen. Should
Oh,
we?
no, no.
There you
Okay.
are.
Now I'm frozen.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you're
good?
back.
You're good? Okay.
Okay.
Maybe your dogs have chewed through your line.
Where did I lose you? You know what? It's entirely possible. I'm not paying enough attention. I had the grandbaby for a visit this weekend. They were not okay with that because they didn't get enough attention. And now they're just like, ma'am,
We're cutting you off. We're cutting the cord.
they are.
Literally.
They are. Literally. Doodles, man. They're crazy.
Oh, they
Okay,
are.
where did I lose you? Where did I
Um,
leave you off?
Like when Chris said that, you know, as readers, we want to have some sort of a closure, but with
Absolutely.
series, you know, there could be more.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I write what I would like to read. And as a
What row?
Maybe we should.
we freeze again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We
we-
froze again. Should we hang up and redial in? Would that
Do you want to
help?
try doing that? Just
Yeah,
log
we
out
can
and log
absolutely
back
try
in.
Okay.
Yeah.
that
all
if
right.
that helps. Okay. Are we back?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's back.
So let's just start. You were
Okay,
saying
good.
that you write like a reader, like something you want to read.
I always write the way I like to read. And as a reader, I cannot stand a cliffhanger ending. It drives me absolutely bananas. So I like to make sure that I try to do something that's satisfactory, even if it's not spelling out every little detail, you know, in an epilogue that tells you, you know, they had this many children and they died at this age. I'm going to at least try to give a reader a satisfactory experience where they can, hey, I know enough. I know enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's good. Yeah. Nice.
Very good. Well, Deanna, we wanted to also talk to you about what you're currently reading. Could you tell us a book that you have either planned to start or are currently reading?
I am 100% sure that this book is already on your radar, but I love Jessie Q Sutanto, and her latest Vera Wong book just dropped a few weeks ago, Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man. Love Vera Wong so much. You know, she's, I think she's 65, and she is the most meddlesome Chinese grandmother. And she cooks for everybody, but she's also solving mysteries the entire time. And it's only the second book in the series. And I'm hoping that Jessie gets to write like 50 more, because
Nice.
I love Vera Wong. She's hilarious.
Yeah, you know, that one is on my radar, but I didn't ever read the first one, but I remember it being around. But I love the idea of someone, I always love books that have food in them.
Should, I think. Now, I could be wrong about this, but I want to say that is it going to be a series, a TV series? I
Oh,
feel like it is. I feel
fun.
like it's going to be adapted.
Wow.
And you know what? If I've just gotten that wrong and I've lied about it, I'm going to be enormously disappointed. So somebody needs to hop on it, and you know, don't make a liar out of me. Y'all make that happen.
You heard it here first.
Yes.
Any rumors about yours being made into series?
If there were, that's probably not the sort of thing that I'd be allowed to talk about. So
Okay.
Wink and a nod. We get it.
no, you know, the funny thing is, even if things do begin that process, they can go astray so many different
Yeah.
points along the way, that if anything that you ever read and enjoy ends up on a screen somewhere, it's a miracle. And
Yeah.
it's down to hard work on behalf of a couple thousand people. So yeah, I would love to see that, though. I've got my little fingers crossed.
All right.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Very cool. Well, I can tell you about my book.
Sure.
Now, this is one I've read already, Jane Austen's Bookshelf.
I'm obsessed with this book.
Okay, excellent.
Obsessed with this book. I read it I think last month.
Okay.
Right before I went on book tour. Maybe it was 2 months ago, but it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my God.
just fantastic. If you love Jane Austen, get it.
Yeah.
Just get it. Get multiple copies, because you're going to want to hand them out to people.
Deanna, I have the ARC. I bought the hardcover, and I'm now listening to the audio version, which
Okay, thank
Rebecca
you.
Romney reads. As I said to Emily, if this book doesn't win all sorts of awards, I'm burning down the publishing industry.
Okay, I will hand you the matches, because
Awesome.
it is so good. And you know, I went into it kind of expecting, oh, maybe it's going to be a little scholarly and a little dry, and it's not. It was riveting.
Yeah.
Absolutely riveting. And for me, I'm a huge Jane Austen fan, and it just expanded and deepened my appreciation for Austen immeasurably.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal book. Loved it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so viewers, if you haven't heard about this one, seen it yet, it is about Jane Austen's Bookshelf. Rebecca Romney is a rare book dealer who was a fan of Jane Austen and started looking into the women writers who inspired Jane Austen, who have all been dismissed over time. And so this is like part memoir, part rare book dealer, behind the scenes kind of stuff. It's literary history. It's literary argument for why these women should still be read today, and how they got pushed out of any potential canon.
Deliberately pushed out. Like,
Yeah.
I got mad so many times reading that
Yes,
book. Like,
yeah.
they did what?
Yeah.
Because there are so many female authors whose names we should know.
Yeah.
We should know. They should be required reading. We should be as familiar with their work as we are Austen, as we are with the Brontes, as we are with anybody else, and we're not. And
Yeah.
those were deliberate choices that were made. And to watch her unravel the mystery of how each one of these women was excised from the canon of English literature is just mind-blowing.
It absolutely is. Oh, I'm so glad that you are another evangelist for this book.
Absolutely.
I wonder if
Yeah.
they'll be putting out, reprinting
Some of them.
them.
I
Yeah.
hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so.
Wouldn't that be fantastic? I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like it's such a great opportunity for somebody to come along, especially one of the more feminist presses, to come along and say, hey, we got you. You know, I'm thinking about Persephone books in England. This would
Mhm.
be such a great project for them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Because
sure.
some of them are still in print or they've been, but I mean, it would be amazing to have a series dedicated to these women writers.
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic. Yeah, and because sometimes all you can get is like a really manky used copy of one of these books,
Right.
or you get something that's been so poorly digitized that it's not even worth trying to read it. So
Yeah.
getting something that has care put
Right.
into it, that's beautifully bound, that's got, kind of a luscious forward to it, and
Yeah.
setting it, contextualizing it maybe a little bit within Jane Austen's works, and how tracing how this particular book would have influenced her and when and where she would have read it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all over that.
Deanna, maybe you could write some luscious forewords.
I would be so down for that.
Totally.
I would be so down for that.
I mean, I just
Very
think that'd be really great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh,
Well,
gosh.
I'm reading a book. Actually, I haven't started it. My next book that I'm going to read is called Feeding Ghosts, and it's by Tessa Holes, and it's a graphic memoir. And
What a
I got this out of the
fantastic
library
title.
like 2 weeks ago, and it won the Pulitzer Prize
Nice.
yesterday or the day
Yeah.
before, or whenever
Yeah.
they were awarded.
You have excellent taste.
Right, well, apparently. I mean, I had no idea. And it's one of those things, you put books on request at the library because you read about them somewhere, or someone, one of your friends tells you, or an author mentions it or something. I have no idea. I went to the library to pick up my holds, and there it was. But I'm sorry that I don't have it with me because it's really beautiful. But Chris will drop a little cover photo in there. But it's black and white graphic memoir. And Tessa Holes is writing about her grandmother, Sun Yi, who was fled communist China. She was a journalist.
Ooh.
And she went to Hong Kong, and she herself wrote a best-selling memoir and then fell into mental health troubles. And then fast forward, Tessa was raised by her own mother, so her grandmother's daughter, obviously, in the United States. And she decides that she wants to read her grandmother's memoir, which is in Mandarin, which she doesn't know. So she pays someone to translate it for her, and then ends up writing this graphic memoir, which took her 10 years,
Oh,
partly
wow.
because one of the things she needed to learn to do was learn to draw. She did.
That is dedication. She
Yeah,
absolutely deserves a Pulitzer for that.
exactly.
Yes.
So
that
I'm
sounds
really
fantastic.
excited to start it. Yeah. So again, 3 generations of Chinese women. It's called Feeding Ghosts, and it just won the Pulitzer Prize for
Beautiful.
memoir.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
3 great books here.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of yours.
All of
as well,
yours.
so-
Oh,
Yes.
well, thank you.
We're going to show your book again. You're still on tour, aren't you?
No, virtual events.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything, the physical tour wrapped up. So now I've got a few virtual events left, a couple more this month. And then I think things will go quiet after that because I have a new book to write.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely put a link down below so people can see what events you have left. And are you willing to tell us anything about the book you're writing before we let you go?
Right now, I am revising a Veronica Speedwell novel, which is my Victorian mystery series. I'm revising number 10. So we are already up to 10 books in that series, which is very exciting. And then after that, I will be doing a contemporary thriller that is not related to the Killers books.
Okay.
Oh, that's
right.
exciting. Wow.
Oh, good. Lots of things to keep our eyes out for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Deanna, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. It's great to meet you.
Oh, it's been my pleasure for inviting me. Thank you so much.